We're going to visit with Dordt senior Caleb Kroese, and Caleb has been studying at Dordt for the last 4 years. He's been involved with the cross country and track and field programs and hunkered down in the suburban Twin Cities now. Is that correct, Caleb?
Yep, I'm in my home in Plymouth, Minnesota here, which is northwest of the Twin Cities.
You've settled into the online learning, and you're an engineering major, and the adjustments for a student in terms of going from face to face and in-person labs and things like that to online learning. What challenges has that presented?
Um, One thing that's been a little more difficult than I expected is like the online discussion format isn't, nearly as productive as the like in-class discussion. So this semester I'm doing a lot of kind of like senior capstone sorts of things that are pretty reading and discussion heavy. And so like yeah, there's definitely something that you lose there when you go from a roundtable discussion with 8 or 10 people in class to a Zoom discussion with 8 or 10 people on laptop screens. But um, yeah, I think like professors have definitely done a great job of working through that and trying to make it as productive as they can. It's just a little bit different.
Has it been a straight path for you in terms of being an engineering major? Did you come in with that as your intent? Did you stay with that your entire collegiate career? Tell me a little bit about how you arrived at this point.
Yeah, so I settled on engineering, I guess kind of by default in high school. I thought it was just something that I'd be interested in, and it kind of was with subjects that I enjoyed. And so, like, Dordt admissions counselors do a great job of telling you that if you think you might want to study engineering, you should probably start trying to study engineering because you can't switch in nearly as easily as you can switch out. Um, and I did that. I started off as an engineer, and I guess I'm still here, so I survived. The attrition rate is a little bit or a little severe, but yeah, there's still enough of us around, and I'm happy to be doing engineering still. I think it's a good place for me.
How did running play into your choice for a college? What drew you to that?
It wasn't really a factor, actually. I was not so much planning on running at Dordt as I was studying, and then I communicated with Coach Heinen after I'd kind of decided to come to Dordt anyways, and just talked to him about it, and he said that there would probably be space for me to contribute, and I showed up and ran track, and then Coach Wolf told me that if I wanted to run track, I should be running cross country as well. And I came out and ran cross country as a sophomore, and then as a junior, I was a captain, and as a senior, I was a captain again. And yeah, it's been kind of I don't know. I was talking to Coach Wolf about that the other day. Like, if you had told freshman me that I'd be um, running 50 miles a week for fun, I don't think I really would have believed you, but it's been a really good experience for me, and I'm really grateful for it. It's been awesome.
You alluded to the fact that engineering is a challenging major. The subject matter is challenging. It's time consuming. How do you make that all work together? You talk about running 50 miles a week. That takes some time as well. How did you make it all happen?
I think maybe it's kind of self-selecting, but I think people who end up being distance runners and people who end up being engineers, a lot of them are very self-disciplined, and so like I'm when I'm at school or when I'm in school, even now, like I get up at about the same time and I do classwork for a certain, from sometime in the morning until about 3 in the afternoon, and then I go for a run and then start schoolwork again after dinner usually. And at school, it's a little different, because you're doing homework with friends in the library or something. But yeah, it's just, I mean, a lot of it is just realizing that you're going to have to do your work and having the discipline to stay on top of it and keep up with it and work ahead. I think it really builds that in you, which is a really good thing. Like we talk about in athletics, especially, that time management is something that you learn and you have to be really good at. And I think that's a good thing. And it's definitely been my experience that I've learned time management.
Do you see yourself continuing to run in some way, shape, or form post college? Is that something that you're ready to put behind you? Where do you see that leading?
Um, so I'm planning to go for a big long bike trip in a couple of weeks here, or in the end of May through July. So then I won't really have any time to do any bike or running through the next couple months. But I really enjoy running. I think it's great. Um, like even running alone, I enjoy the solitude and I enjoy the kind of time to think and do something that's not like answering email or something like that, you know. So I think in the future I'll continue to run. I think I'd like to try run a marathon sometime, and then maybe that'll be what breaks me and decides that I don't need to run anymore, or maybe that'll be something that I continue to do more of. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think in the future I'll continue to run for a few years at least yet.
You talk about a bike trip post graduation. What happens after that? Some engineering majors go the graduate school route. Others are lining up jobs. Where are you at in that, in terms of when you get to that point? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I've accepted position with a company called Agard in Alexandria, Minnesota. They make like packaging robots, and I'm pretty excited to start there. I'll start there in July after I've had some time to kind of decompress from college and be outside for a long time in the woods and on the bike. So I'm excited for that. I think it's a cool company that has some good stuff going on, and they definitely care about their employees, which is a big thing that I was looking for. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, I think for the most part, my classmates have jobs locked down, or at least the ones that I'm keeping up with, I think, are not having too much trouble with that this year, which has been good to see.
Caleb Kroese, Dordt Senior, cross country and track runner, engineering major. Thanks for joining me, and best wishes as you move into your next phase in life.
Yeah, thanks.